Howdy y'all, I've played a decent amount of pool / billiard / snooker in a variety of locales. Some fancy clean felts that slide the ball around like the pros play, but mostly my time with pool has been in bars and pubs. I'm good enough to hold my own against the common pool hall goer, but I'm not sinking all 8 of my shots in a row by any means. Here we are evaluating 3 of the best pool games available for VR headsets, and for some reason the VR gods have continued to shine their blessing upon me when it comes to timing my videos recently. I initially scheduled this to be a month out of the 4VR pool game release to give them time to fix any, day one bugs and let the community kind of settle in. But my patience was rewarded as Pixelworks, the developers of Black Hole Pool, and The Rack decided to merge their VR pool efforts into one single game called Black Hole Pool. This uses the modernized physics version of The Rack, but keeps the more popular branding of Black Hole Pool. With that merger, that leaves us with 3 games at various price points to review. Sparkball Pool, which is currently completely free on the Quest's App Lab store. Black Hole Pool coming in at $10 USD on the Steam store and Quest's App Lab store. And 4VR Pool coming in at $20 USD on the Quest's main store. As always, if you want the brief summary of these titles, skip to the final overview. Otherwise, let's hop into the details. In many sports, the play spaces played on by amateurs versus those played on by pros differ slightly with important discrepancies. Pool falls into a similar space as golf in that the surfaces pros play on have significantly less friction, causing the balls to move at a higher pace. This distinction is important as I believe 2 of these games, Sparkball Pool and 4VR Pool, have elected to follow the path of replicating pub-style play where the balls move with slightly less pace. Black Hole Pool instead focuses on reflecting professional-style tables. For amateur players, this means that Black Hole Pool shots are more likely to scratch or to land in a spot that is unfamiliar to them. However, for the pros, this means that they are able to use English more effectively to move the ball into an appropriate place on the felt. If they mess up though, the consequences would be more severe on the lower friction surface. Using spin, or English, on the ball is possible in all of the games, but how they allow you to set up your shot is just a little different for each one. In Spark and 4VR, you first lock in your stick angle as it is seen on the center of the ball, and then you can adjust the spin options as you see fit. Spark has done it by joystick movement, which makes it the most accurate, but does kind of break the immersion of what you would actually be doing on a pool table. 4VR allows you to move around the angle after the lock with motion controls, which isn't as immersive, but it does work well to make you at least physically input the English that you're putting on the ball. And then we have Black Hole, where you lock in both the angle and the direction at the same time. I think this is the most realistic option here and is relatively intuitive, but it does make spin harder to aim, which is very much the intention of the mechanic. One thing I appreciate about all of these games is that they allow you to skip the realism of the ball being in an uncomfortable spot and you not being able to lean over the table properly. Black Hole just allows you to morph through the table with locomotion and zoom, while 4VR and Spark allow you to morph through the table when you zoom in from the edge. Spark is the most clunky for that piece, but it still is effective. Movement around the table is important. It helps you stay immersed and focused on your next shot versus focused on setting up for your next shot if the movement around is not smooth. Spark and Black Hole exclusively use smooth locomotion to move around, which really enhances setting up for your next shot, with Black Hole's setup being a bit easier due to the morphing mentioned earlier. You could also hit from the zoomed in position or just bend yourself to the table level in Black Hole, allowing decision making to be even easier. Just for accessibility reasons, I wish they included movement options for teleport. But if teleport locomotion is your gig though, 4VR has you covered. They have the full slew of locomotion options available. The way they handle the setup is an on-rail style box around the table. You can teleport around the table to set up your shot using this box. Moving around is not intuitive though, in this form, but it does work for those VR players that have to deal with motion sickness. However, if you're used to smooth locomotion, this will drive you absolutely nuts since you snap in whenever you get close to the table instead of being able to make easy adjustments in distance and angle. I understand the implementation, but it is annoying for VR vets nonetheless. Although this isn't physics-based discussion, I think it is important to mention in a realism context. 8-ball is the most popular version of pool around the world, but there are other common versions of play that provide pool with variety so you don't get bored of just one rule set. The only variation given love by any of these games is 9-ball. Black Hole Pool has the most robust support, as you are able to play both 8-ball and 9-ball with friends and strangers online, as well as the AI. Sparkball allows you to play just 9-ball with your friends or strangers online, but does not have AI support. 4VR has completely skipped support for any other variation from the 8-ball formula, which was kind of unexpected, and in my opinion, a big miss for the current rollout. I hope to see that implemented in a future update, but no promises from the 4VR team as of this video. When you enter a VR game, the tutorial is extremely important, especially for these casual sports games where you might expect new players to gravitate to upon first purchase of a VR headset. This is where 4VR really shines, is its accessibility and ease of use for amateur players. The tutorial is succinct, well scripted, and effective at allowing you to jump out of the tutorial into a match. The other two leave a lot to be desired. Sparkball has a text-based tutorial that takes you through the basics, enough so that you could play a game with the AI afterwards to get a feel and then go into a match afterwards with confidence. Black Hole Pool just really skips that whole tutorial idea in its entirety. They do have some billboards in the public and private lobbies that show you what the controls do, but before you get to these lobbies, you start the game in an elevator where you decide what environment to go to. And if you're like me, you start out with practice before you go into, a sports game. There are no training materials in the whole freaking practice room, so I ended up teaching myself the whole game before I saw the billboards and the lobbies. It isn't crazy unintuitive, but it isn't intuitive. So this tutorial discrepancy needs to be the next item addressed in Black Hole Pool, in my view. It could turn off new players to the game as well as new players to VR. Surroundings and cosmetic customizations are often impressive ways to incentivize players to continue playing the game and improving. And few people do this as well as 4VR. Tons of the environments pulled from previous 4VR titles and great fun collectibles add a lot of fun and interchangeable vibes to the game. Different colors, odd sticks, and creative themes are abundant here. Sparkball has 3 different environments that are fun and offer a change in pace when needed during online multiplayer, but there isn't anything too crazy special here. Black Hole really kept their environments to a bare minimum, as the lobbies find themselves all in the exact same environment, with the practice room being a similar aesthetic to the lobby, but slightly smaller in layout. Black Hole Pool does enhance its environment with big screen TVs that allow you to pull up YouTube videos and music playlists so you can watch and listen while playing. 4VR has a similar setup when it comes to in-game music playlists and YouTube playlists, but they are missing the watching portions of the YouTube integration that Black Hole has. The multiplayer portion of these games are largely the same. Each of them have matchmaking, public and private lobbies that you can have friends join in on. It is really just the physics and level of aim assist you are using that make differences in the play experience. Sparkball and 4VR have point or experience systems that allow you to gain from playing regardless of your decision and assist or environment. These allow you to partially get ranked against other players around the world, but it isn't a robust ranking system like Black Hole Pool has implemented. Black Hole Pool's setup is very similar to 11 table tennis in that it uses the ELO ranking system to determine player multiplayer levels. You can play unranked play that does not affect your ELO rank, but has aim assist turned on with no ability to turn it off, at least as far as I could tell. The ranked play is exclusively with no assist allowed, and any wins or losses affect your ELO ranking. Both the ranked and unranked play in public lobbies are done in the pool hall environment. You could have 3 different pool games going on at the same time between exclusive 1v1 combatants. Honestly makes for a really fun time, since none of these games offer more direct players than 1v1. 4VR has stated that 2v2 is on its roadmap. As of right now, Black Hole Pool is the only PC VR pool game on this list, and as such, if you're a PC VR player or play multiplayer with a lot of PC VR players, then this is the only viable option for you to choose. Luckily, it is a fantastic choice, affordable, and is my personal favorite of the bunch. However, when we come to standalone Quest users, the decision becomes much more complex. 4VR has done a very good job with this iteration of their casual sports titles, and it has a lot of things going for it, especially for the casual audience. The physics of the balls and felt are solid and feel similar to a pool hall that a normal person would play in. If you want an easy to drop into game that you will definitely come back to, either playing multiplayer with other 4VR game owners or just to collect all the experience and collectibles, then this game will easily be worth the $20. However, Sparkball covers a really important section of the casual market in that is completely free. Are you interested in hopping into some VR pool for a couple of games and you don't know if you'll return to it? Sparkball Pool allows that easy entry with no cost. You can have a great time in this game, and I hope it continues to improve on itself as time goes on. The physics are pretty solid, and it's just a bare bones game that works really well. For those players that want serious competition or are interested in a more dedicated niche community that focuses on optimized physics and tournament play, then Black Hole Pool is the clear winner here. Not only that, this fantastic pool simulation is only $10 USD to get. A great affordable option for those that want to be the best there ever was and don't mind some UI and environment deficiencies. Well, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching and joining the Discord for monthly tournaments. See y'all next week for the end of the year Squashy Awards. Thanks for watching the video. I really appreciate your time and viewership. If you would like to join the community, I host monthly VR tournaments and community nights in my Discord. I would love for you to stop by, say hi, and get involved. On top of that, we are always talking about new news and events in social and casual sport VR. I look forward to seeing you around.